Today, I have something very exciting prepared for you, as we will be looking at a smart feeding device in this video. In fact, it's much the only smart feeder I could find that offers the right balance of the feature set I desire, while also providing a reasonable level of privacy. That's why I got it. You will learn about the possible applications of this after the intro, as always. Enjoy! So, first of all, we obviously open the thing, because then you can see right away what this is about, namely the Aqara Smart Pet Feeder. So, here is the device. As you can see, it's quite simple and exactly what I expect from such a device. I really searched forever to figure this out, because the market on Amazon is truly flooded with such devices. However, I wanted to have a way to intervene during feeding, meaning I could say, "Please feed now," while also having the option to create a schedule and ideally manage everything from afar. And that eliminated most devices that only have local control M. Of course, there are a lot of devices that can be controlled via Wi-Fi, but I have to say that I don't really trust those Chinese brands that are everywhere, especially regarding the possibility of their servers being shut down and who knows what else. Accordingly, I first looked to see if there was a way to flash these Wi-Fi devices, perhaps with custom firmware or existing ones. However, there wasn't really much to find. And accordingly, I turned to alternative protocols and ultimately ended up here with the good old Zigbee. This device can simply use Zigbee. This makes it very easy to integrate everything into Home Assistant, Zigbee and MQTT. You just need to hold down this connection button here for a moment. Click on Learn in MQTT and then the devices will be connected to each other. And from now on, I can control everything through Home Assistant, set how many portions should be dispensed here, how often that should happen during the day, create schedules, or simply say, "Yes, I want something to come out right now," and then it happens automatically. The intended uses are quite clear. You can easily feed dogs and cats with it. However, what I have also seen and actually find quite a funny idea is using it to feed children. You could also put treats in there and automate dispensing them. There is a large American YouTube channel that does this quite often. So you can get creative with it. However, I find it to be a rather simple device. The food simply goes in here at the top and is then ground down through what you might call a sort of mill, and it falls out here at the front. The only additional feature that could be beneficial, which is a bit unfortunate, and I am curious to see what the experience brings, is to have some sort of scale or monitoring function to see how much food is already inside. Otherwise, if it is not eaten, the feeder would logically overflow at some point. Although the container here is relatively large, it would certainly be a cool thing if that could be done. I am curious to see what the experience says. If this doesn't work and regularly overflows, then one might consider whether it can be retrofitted. So, down here in the container, I have already noticed there is still a bit of space. Perhaps a microcontroller could be placed here that measures accordingly and then write an automation that interrupts the feeding when the feeder is still full. As far as I know, the schedule also works completely offline. So if the entire network were to go down, the stored feeding algorithm would still function normally. Indeed. So you don't have to worry about anything not working. I also found it quite reassuring to keep in mind that it always works perfectly and that chaos won't suddenly break out if the Zigbee network fails. Otherwise, I don't think there's much more to say about this device. As far as I know, it is connected to a constant power source here, so it doesn't have a battery or anything like that. I don't find that too bad though. 1000. I personally will just connect this here. It is connected with a USB cable, which also looks relatively high quality to me, so it's a sleeved cable. Having pets at home can be quite pleasant, especially since they can't easily chew through the cables, or at least it becomes a bit more complicated. And it's not just some thin cable that gives way immediately. The only disadvantage I find with the device is definitely that it is currently very hard to come by. So apparently this is no longer that popular and all the cheaper photo booths are consequently much easier to find. For example, I don't think you can get this one on Amazon anymore. And there are mainly the cheaper competitors represented. Of course, it is the case that all the Wi-Fi connected devices are significantly cheaper to purchase. This one is more in the higher price segment. You have to know whether the reliability and privacy are worth the cost for you. I will of course include the link in the description below if you want to take a look at it. And yes, I would say there isn't much more to say about this device. I hope you enjoyed this short and snappy video. If so, feel free to show it to me with a rating. If you have any questions about the device, you can write them in the comments, and then I would say see you next week for a new video. Until then, take care and goodbye.